What if I told you that we actually know absolutely nothing about Halloween? Such a popular holiday so beloved by children and many adults is not as safe as it seems, and in some cases even deadly. In ancient Celtic culture, Samhain, known as Halloween, was known as the darkest day of the year. This day marked the end of the light period of the year, summer, and the beginning of the dark time, winter. It was on the night of October 31 to November 1, during the time change, that the boundaries between the world of the living and the world of the dead were erased, and the souls of the dead could return to Earth. To protect themselves from evil spirits, the Celts performed various rituals. They lit bonfires and wore masks and costumes to scare the spirits. They also left treats for the spirits on their doorsteps. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory moved All Saints' Day, celebrated on November 1, to October 31. This was done to unite pagan and Christian traditions. On this day, Christians honor the memory of all saints and martyrs. In America, Halloween became popular in the 6th century, when Irish immigrants moved to the country. Since then, the holiday has spread worldwide and has become one of the most popular holidays in the world. Nothing scary so far, right? For most of the population, it's just another fun tradition and reason to have fun. For businesses, it's a great way to capitalize on trends. For religion, it's a way to reach out to more of the masses. But what is this holiday really about? What meanings are embedded in it? Let's dig a little deeper and analyze the following information. In the historical notes of the Roman historian Titus Livius mentions Samhain as a holiday that was celebrated on October 31. He writes that on this day the Romans made sacrifices to the gods to protect them from evil spirits. The natural history by the Roman writer Pliny the Elder also mentions Samhain. He writes that on this day people wore masks and costumes to ward off evil spirits. In Irish mythology, Samhain is mentioned as the darkest day of the year. On this day, it was believed that the spirits of the dead could move freely between the world of the living and the world of the dead. In Celtic mythology, Samhain is also mentioned as a time when the spirits of the dead could visit the world of the living. On this day, people often left treats for the spirits on their doorsteps. Here is an excerpt from an ancient Egyptian text that mentions a festival that was celebrated on October 31. On this day, the souls of the dead returned to their homes to visit their living relatives. People placed food and drink on the doorsteps of their homes to treat the souls of the dead. At least this already gives us an idea that some of the most developed at that time empires and peoples adhered to certain traditions and beliefs associated with this day. Moving on, if we look even deeper, we will also find references to this day in some of the most ancient and authoritative writings. The Vedas. Here are a few examples from the Vedic scriptures that are similar to Halloween. The Rigveda, one of the oldest Vedas, states that on the night between October 31 and November 1, the souls of the dead may return to Earth. This event is called Pitri Paksha, or Ancestor Week. On this night, Hindus light bonfires to ward off evil spirits and to welcome the souls of their ancestors. Quote from the Rigveda.
This night, when all roads are open, when demons roam, when the gates of hell are open, when the ominous wind blows, when the moon grows faint, when the stars grow dark, when darkness descends, when night reaches its climax, I call upon you, O Prajapati, to protect me from all dangers.
In the Atharva Veda, another ancient Veda, it is said that on the night between October 31 and November 1, the spirits of the dead can harm living people. To protect themselves from them, Hindus wear masks and costumes to scare the spirits. Perhaps you will say that there is nothing wrong with this, and you will be right. But still, I will draw your attention to the fact that there are things that we do not know and do not talk about. such as the statistics that on the eve and on the night of Samhain itself, there is an increase in the number of cases of exacerbation of psychosis in patients. Here are some of them. In 2019, 10 cases of psychotic patient exacerbations were reported in the United States on Halloween night. In one case, the patient committed suicide, and in 9 other cases, patients were detained by police for aggressive behavior. In 2020, there were 5 cases of psychotic exacerbations on Halloween night in the UK. In one case, a patient assaulted another patient, and in 4 other cases, patients were detained by police for aggressive behavior. In 2021, 3 cases of psychotic exacerbations on Halloween night were reported in Australia. In one case, a patient attempted suicide. In 2 other cases, patients were detained by the police for aggressive behavior. Naturally, these are only the recorded cases, and how many remain unreported or escalate into actual crime, as in the case of these unexplained events. These cases are still unsolved, and their causes remain unknown. Is that creepy enough? I saved the best part for last. In the 1970s, there were reports of satanic rituals being performed on Halloween night in the US and UK. These reports stated that Satanists performed animal and human sacrifices and participated in other rituals involving violence and Satanism. In the 1980s, these reports became even more widespread. In some cases, the police even investigated these reports but found no evidence that they were true. Currently, there is no credible evidence that Satanists actually perform rituals on Halloween night. However, you can find quite a few videos on the subject on YouTube. Whether it is a cultural influence, mass psychosis, or really some kind of special day, the fact remains. This holiday is not as harmless as you may think. So carve your pumpkins, decorate your homes, and let the kids roam the streets in search of candy. And remember, until you ask questions, you're not even living.
If you are ready to discover something new, explore the recesses of the mind and dive into the depths of the universe. Subscribe to my channel, give me likes, and write in the comments what you think about Halloween.